Hello, this is Jess with Her Mood Mentor, and today I am chatting with one of my integrative menstrual health coaching clients, Andrea, and she is here with us today to share her story. Hi, Andrea.
Hello.
I'm excited to chat with you
How
today.
are you? Yeah,
I'm
I always
doing,
love talking to you.
yeah, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I know everyone is really curious
Oh,
to hear about your story, so I would love to just start with you telling us a little bit about what living with PMDD was like for you before we met.
I would say it's been a problem a large portion of my life. I think since my teens, I think that's when it actually started. And um, I mean, it wavered in my 20s a little bit, but I'd say mostly it's been all of my reproductive years, it's been an issue,
Mm,
and my family can attest to it. We just kind of thought, oh, well, it's just I'm having a harder time with my period, or you know there wasn't really a name for a
mhm,
while, for a long time.
mhm,
So it was just, why is this so hard? And
mm,
it's been many years of my life, so definitely a challenge, and it's affected every part of my life, work,
mm,
relationships, my health, my sleep, my energy, my mindset. So it's big,
mm.
definitely.
Yeah, it's so debilitating in so many ways. And I
Yeah.
know that you had been dealing with this for so long, but what kind of was the tipping point? What led you to seeking out an integrative practitioner and ultimately working with someone like me?
Well, I really don't want to go the medication route. I had been there, done that, and it actually made my life nosedive. It changed a lot of who I was, and um, I just, I guess I would say I wanted to do this without drugs. And I mean, the backstory was the typical birth control pills and SSRI. That's kind of the go-to for Western medicine.
Mhm,
And I don't really think they have any other, suggestions. So that's what I was given. And I refused to do a full dose of the SSRI, and it was Lexapro.
mm,
And so I didn't do the 20 milligrams. I did 5. And I mean, I was on it for 7 years at 5 milligrams. And slowly, I just started becoming a non-person. Basically, I stopped everything. I mean, I stopped playing my guitar. I stopped calling my friends. I mean, to me, it was worse than anything else. I'll take the PMDD mood swing. I need to be able to be a human. It was like the worst thing I've ever done, is taken Lexapro. And for some people, I think that, that's going to be a controversial statement, and fine, everybody makes the right decision for themselves. But I didn't have all the information. This was
mhm,
just, I didn't know what I know now. I didn't know then
mhm,
what I know now. And honestly, it was the biggest mistake of my entire life, taking that drug. So,
mm,
not to mention the, year 2+ years of withdrawal that nobody tells you about, that talk about debilitating. That in itself is, again, things I wish I would have known. But that's why I want to talk about it too, is because
mm,
I feel like people need to have all the information before they choose a medication, and know that they're it's not just side effects. I mean, I wouldn't say, becoming a zombie was a side effect. I would say,
mm. I'm sorry. I
I
mean,
don't
I'm
know
just
what you
laughing out of shock because it really does.
well, and it's a strong drug.
Mm,
It is a strong drug. It's a mind altering, brain changing drug. And I think, it was, for me, it was very slow. It was a very slow transition into this, as I say, non-person. And I had a friend come and visit me from Chicago, and she's like, there is just something wrong here. It's not depression. It's not, I don't know what this is, girl. We got to have a talk.
mm,
Um, my friends who, who knew me before, I mean, I was always a very lively, I'd say fun person. I always like to do stuff. And I literally just, my life turned off. I didn't touch my guitar for years. I didn't date. No interest. People would invite me to do things. No, not interested. It was, I mean, yeah, I guess it helped the PMDD a little bit because I just didn't feel much at all. So, but it really put my life on hold, if not making it go backwards, I would say. It was, and the, man, with the birth control pills, there's so many different kinds. And I've tried all different kinds, and they can make you feel crazy. There was only one of all the kinds that helped me, and I mean, I'll speak specifically. It was orthocycline, and the reason that I think it helped me a little was because it was the same hormone dose every single day, and I could skip I'd skip my periods for at least 3 months in a row, and that one I think I did find some improvement, but it wasn't enough to, for me to continue taking that. And then I was learning about how birth controls are so bad for gut health, and they, deplete important nutrients. And I'm just like, no, I'm not going to do this trade-off. I don't want to do it anymore. And then I found out that it's not even real progesterone. It's progestin, which is a fake hormone, which all this information that I have now, I just wish I could go back in time and be like, no, don't take that. And, again, I this is just me and my experience. If a medication is going to save somebody's life,
of course,
but I'm just talking about my own experience. And it was, for me, medications were not the right option. So that's a very, very, very long story long.
Yeah, you were looking for another way. That's the same in my experience. I tried everything, nothing helped. I couldn't handle the side effects, and so I had to find another way. So we shared that path in a similar way, but what you went through with the withdrawal from the medication and how severe that was.
Whoa. No, I mean, my life, talk about, I mean, upheaval to the point of like, I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. I mean, it was like, I thought that I was going crazy. It was, and so many other people I've talked to on Instagram have a hard time coming off of Lexapro, and so many most doctors don't know how to help us. And it needs to be titrated very slowly, very, very minimally, very carefully, and monitored. But literally, I didn't have the help that I needed. And I think it's a shame that so many health practitioners prescribe these drugs so easily. And then when people suffer from the drug or the withdrawal, there's nothing they can do. Sorry, I can't help you. I heard it from probably 5 different doctors. I'm sorry, I can't help you. I prescribe Lexapro, but I don't take people off of it. And that to me is just not okay.
Yeah, and you can't really make an informed decision if you don't have all of the information. And unfortunately, doctors don't, have the time to educate you, and they might not even be informed fully on the risks. Akathisia is a major risk. We know that SSRIs are habit forming. We know a lot of these medications side effects are the same that we're dealing with PMDD. So when they're offered as a solution or to fix the problem, which doesn't even make sense. That's not what's happening at all. It's very sad, the amount of suffering people are going through after already suffering. And I remember in so many sessions when we were doing them, you were like, compared to what I went through later with these medications, the PMDD was no big deal. Like I would take
depression. Yes, I would take the depression, the anxiety, the mood swings. Give me anything other than that suffering. That was the there's like literally no amount. I mean, I can't give words to the suffering that I've endured. And I'm like, what was this drug? What was this? How could it be this strong? And I only took 5 milligrams, but I think the amount of time you're on them well, I'm sure of it. The longer you're on it, the longer you have to titrate, and I mean, I'm just slowly starting to feel like, you know, human again. And I just picked up my guitar recently and started playing it. Man, that was an emotional thing. And you know, I'm reconnecting with my friends and family,
Mhm.
and I mean, they're like, "Where were you?" And I'm
Mhm.
like, I don't even know. It feels like all like one really weird dream
Mhm.
to me.
Mhm.
You know, it's hard not to get emotional. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we know living with PMDD, we know what a statement that is for you to make. So tell us a little bit. I know
Oh
people
yeah.
are interested. What was it like for you going through this integrative menstrual health coaching process? And how did this, how was
Sure.
this compared, right, to what you were managing with before? What changed for you with your symptoms? I mean, you picking up the guitar, that was a real victory moment for us.
Yeah, it's been years, many, many years. And my music, my songwriting is like me. So yeah, that was very emotional. The word I would say is empowering, because I think we really are taught as a society that we have to take a pill for every problem.
Mm,
And you turn on the news, it's freaking sorry, pharmaceutical commercials all the time now.
mhm,
That's our life. It used to be, I mean, I grew up with peanut butter commercials and soap, and like now it's all pharmaceuticals, and like we're just bombarded with this all the
mm,
time, that you're supposed to take drugs for every single problem. And you know, I think a lot of like I was brainwashed. I bought into it too. I
mm,
don't, you tell me I can't take a pill. This is going to help me. This is what's going to help me,
mhm,
you know. And I know there's going to be a lot of people being like offended by what I'm saying, but it's true. We are taught in this culture that,
mm,
yeah, you just go to the doctor, you get a pill to fix it. Well, it's not that simple. It's not that simple, because our health is the result of it's a result of so many different factors. I
mhm,
mean, and you helped me learn that it's not just one thing. I mean, it's just such a huge combination of our choices, our beliefs, our actions, our everything throughout the day. If you think about it, you know,
mhm,
our activities, who we spend time with. I mean, I'm realizing now, I think I would use the word empowered. I felt empowered, like I do have more control over things than I realized. And working with you, I saw that, because I'll be honest with you, even like halfway through working with you, I still was like, I just want to take a pill. I just want to take a pill. I just want to take a pill to feel better, to make this easier. I don't want to do all this work.
mm,
I'm being honest. I was like, these are changes, these are life changes. This is hard. And I resisted. And I know a lot of people will resist, because it's like, well, wouldn't it just be easier to take a damn pill?
mm,
And, you know, it's almost like in order to heal, I think your thinking really has to change.
mm,
And you did a post recently that I loved that talked about um, you having more control,
mm,
you.
mhm,
and and I think the people who aren't, sorry, my hair's driving me crazy, the people who aren't ready to completely change though are going to be like, no, I'm sorry, I though they're going to resist. But when it comes time for change, when it comes time, and yes, it's hard, people will do what they need to do. And I
mm,
think that's what happened with me. I hit the wall of, no, the pills don't work. I mean, it almost killed me. So what are my other options? It's
mhm,
scary.
mhm,
It is scary, and it's hard to be like, no, you're going to have to, I mean, gosh, you know, I cut out gluten and dairy for other health reasons. And I mean, kind of from Chicago, that's, oh God, giving up pizza. Are you kidding me? But I keep telling myself, this is temporary, and it's for the greater good. This is for the
mhm,
best. And I can do temporary. I know suffering, you know, I really do.
mm,
But making life changes it's hard. It's not
mhm,
easy. I know all you can do is suggest and support. People have to do the work.
mm,
But
mhm,
the results are there. I sleep through the night now. In fact, I actually slept like 9 hours just a week or two ago. And I was like, oh my God, did that really just happen? It's taken 3.5 years since I've been off Lexapro. Oh, a little more than that. And I finally slept through the night.
mm,
But it's because of, as you say, modalities, right?
mm.
These modalities, these changes, I mean, there's several different things. And
We
we
worked
do have to. We did some work. Yeah. But I mean, it wasn't nothing like you said, nothing was as hard. Nothing was as hard as the suffering I've endured, not even close. And I don't think anything in my life will ever be to that level of suffering that I endured. You
Well,
know?
and I want to know kind of, and I want people to know, like, yes, those changes were hard and it took us
Yeah.
time to really get those habits in place. But what, from making those small changes that we focused on, and we really did focus on sleep a lot,
Yeah.
we focused on stress management a lot, but
Right.
what came out of that? Because it wasn't just that you were able to manage your symptoms, that you felt more empowered. There were some other really exciting things that happened along the way. So I want you to share a little bit about how
It's
did it impact your quality of
I wish
life?
I could pick the right word because I think it's um I mean it's overcoming like your own resistance within yourself. And
Mhm.
like really getting real with, hey, maybe I can do some things to feel better. I mean,
Mhm.
I was resistant and you may have not known that, but after our stuff, I was like, yeah, sure. I'll do this. Yeah. Okay. And then it'd be like, oh man, I really said I was going to do it. So, for example, like I just want to be honest about,
Yeah, of
that
course.
I think we want easy.
Mm.
People generally do want easy. And as much as, I think I'm a tough ass sometimes, I think that like, honestly, like making the changes is, I'm like, haven't I already been through enough? I got to do all this stuff now. And again, I'm just being totally
Mhm.
forthright.
Yeah.
It's, it's a change of thinking too. I had to get it out of my head that I had to have a pill. And that was one of the hardest things that I think the hardest think it still comes back sometimes.
Mm.
It
Mhm.
still comes back. I still like when I have a hard day, I don't want to do the work. I do not want to go work out. I do not, it's like, there's like a bit of like a child petulance too, because, I already gave up this and I gave up this but now it's like, as I'm starting to see the results, it's like, I probably can start eating more. I actually reintroduced beans and I did fine. And I love beans.
Mm.
So I feel like as I'm healing my gut, there's been a lot of gut healing going
Mhm.
on. It's a lot of
Mhm.
layers, as you've talked
It
about,
is.
a lot of different
Mhm.
layers. And I still am, my skin's been so clear, but I was eating candy and cake this last week, which I don't do, but I'm paying for it. Got a little
Mm.
rash on my hands. But I think that, I don't know, I think I would tell people to put in the work and to believe in themselves, that we really do have more power within ourselves to do the healing and stop giving it outward so much. I
Mm.
think that's a Western culture thing, to just like give so much of our power away. And, like we may get some great tips from Western medicine. We may get some great tips from Eastern medicine. We may get some, you know what I mean? It's like, there's so many different types of healing and facets and layers, and why just stick to one thing? I'm the kind of person too that let's keep trying stuff, and you were totally open to that.
Mhm.
That's what
Yeah,
I
we
love
tried
about
so
you too,
many
is like
things.
you're not like, okay, well, here's the one thing I got, and if this doesn't work, no, you're like, well, we'll try something else. There's so many options. And that might actually be a little scary for people who just want a pill.
Mm.
But
Mhm.
trying things, that's part of the bravery and healing, is
Mhm.
trying, not giving up. And again, not giving your power away to somebody else. I did hit a point where I said, you know what? I keep going to doctors. I keep going to doctors. I keep going to doctors. It's not working. And then now this is working.
Mm.
I mean, we still have our hard days sometimes. We got to be
Mhm.
honest, right? It's like,
Mhm.
but that's usually if there's an accumulation of stress going on,
Mhm.
or eating junk food,
Mm.
which I don't usually do that. When I do, it's like, oh, I feel like junk.
Mm.
Um, and I think too, you're the one who was like, you really have to prioritize your sleep. Did you say sleep hygiene? Is that what you called it?
Mhm. Mhm. Yep.
Yeah. And I was like, well, I don't do this or that. It was like two things. And I was like, but then when you gave me more ideas and more suggestions, it's like, okay, well, no, I really do have my phone with me until late. And I really do have my TV on. I really do have, it's like, oh no, I know better, but I wasn't doing better. And
Mm.
then,
Mhm. Yeah,
so,
that
you know,
accountability was really helpful for you in following through with the
yes.
changes. But
It
what kind
was.
of results, because I know, but I know that they don't know, what are these results that you're talking about? Because it was those
Oh,
results that motivated you, right, to
right.
continue on this path. If you wouldn't have seen results, you probably would have been like, never mind.
I think, well, I mean, with the layers of the pie and the different
Mhm.
pieces of our health or facets, or what do you call it?
I call it the 7 core areas of hormone health.
Okay. I think that being like seeing it like that, and that there's so many different parts to this, and not just like, okay, well, it's so many things affect the hormones,
Mhm.
so many things. Okay, sleep, stress, food, all these different things. And so um for me, it's like I still sometimes have to think about that and look at it and go, well, why am I having a hard day? Still want a pill sometimes, not as much, definitely not as much. I'm like, no, I got to do some work here. There's something going on.
Mm.
So with what you and I have talked about, it's like, let's look at this.
Mhm.
Let's see where's the areas of improvement,
Mm.
and what can I do better? And that's so different than before, where I just go to the doctor. We need to
Mm.
try a different something. I need to try a different birth control pill. I need to, um, it really is just, to me, it's just changing thinking. And
Yeah, we did so much
that's really,
mindset
really
work.
hard. It's really hard.
Mhm.
Like I think that's probably the hardest thing, is to change our mindset, and the negative thoughts,
Mhm. We worked on that a
automatic
lot.
negative thoughts. That's been a challenge pretty much my whole life. Being a highly sensitive person, it's like that's been hard. Um,
But so much came
especially there's
when we saw the improvements of you getting more sleep from
oh
there.
yeah,
It was like, oh, you
yeah.
started to feel like I have more energy where I can do movement and I can feed myself better. And remember that one point where you were like, I might be interested in a relationship again. And we were both shocked because
Oh
you
yeah,
hadn't
I
felt that
know.
in so long.
Yeah,
You wrote a
no,
song
not at
you
all.
hadn't
And then
done.
yeah, I've written probably 20 songs in the last month.
Oh my
Um,
goodness. Andrea, I mean,
they're maybe not all.
yeah, but that
It's like
that
they were there, but they were
creativity
maybe
was coming
left
back.
out. Yeah, yeah. And the reconnection with my friends,
Mm.
um, my cousin, and like it's like it's also kind of like, I'll try not to cry because it's like really hard to. I feel like I have missing time, and like I miss this time not being myself, and I can't get the time back. But it feels so good to start finally feeling like myself again, and that if I could tell somebody to, tell people going off of SSRIs, that my fear was I would never be myself again,
Mm.
and that I would never be okay again,
Mm.
because it was so devastating. Then I am gonna cry, even though I don't have waterproof mascara on. I could feel it coming. that,
It's okay.
that yeah, no, I think I want to be authentic here. That when you do start to get yourself back, it's like the best gift you could ever get. It's the best gift you could ever get, and it's worth it. It's hard. It's so hard. It's so hard, but it's so worth it. And I have friends on Instagram that I've met through all this, and they're just like, I can't get off this drug. I can't get off this Lexapro. And I'm like, listen, it takes time, but it's so worth coming back to yourself
Mm.
and your strengths and your gifts and what
Mhm.
you're here that you're supposed to do. Because I just was so, I just left the building. My spark was gone.
Mm.
And worst thing that ever happened to me, for sure. And it's like, again, it was very subtle. I didn't see it happening, but to be able to get these pieces back, and growth and healing can be incredibly painful, and that's something I will tell people too. This isn't all happy fun time, and that's why I want to be authentic and show my
Mm.
actual tears, because um it's worth it though. Doing the work is worth it. um Being my authentic self, all the hell that I've been through, and it's been some hell, let me tell you, more than I ever thought I'd go through. It's been worth it, and I thank you so much for your help.
Mm.
I really do. understanding and for knowing, and you've had your own struggles with meds. And I just really thank you.
Well, it was such a joy to support you through the process and to be a part of you reclaiming your life and yourself. I mean, those little wins along the
That's
way,
the
each
word.
one, and I say little because it was coming in fragments, but they weren't little. I mean, they were huge changes where you were saying, my family is noticing a difference. Like they are feeling like they have me back. Like all of these very powerful, super emotional things that, you experienced over this 3 month, the short duration. And of course you were doing other things, right? You're doing a lot of work, but that efficacy was there where you were able to see quick feedback from your body of like, this is helping, this is making a difference, this is changing things for me after so long of, you know, recovery essentially from what you
I
went
think,
through.
yeah, I think you used a couple really big words that fit. And I don't know, big words, but they're words that fit perfectly. Reclaiming.
Mm,
I think reclaiming is kind of a really, really powerful word that fits here. I really like that word. And, self-efficacy, and I mean, you believed in me, and also I had determination too. I was like, no, I can't go back. I can only go forward.
mm,
And so what's forward? It's scary. It's unknown. I don't know what I'm doing, if this is going to work, but I mean, I kind of scrambling for a little while, is
mm,
flailing, scrambling. And then I realized, no, this, this is something that could actually work, and it is working. And, um, I hope other people will believe in themselves enough to do it.
mm. Yeah, it's certainly not the easy way, but like I always say
No,
to you and all my clients, like the payoff from taking this approach is system wide throughout your whole body, throughout your whole
yes,
life. It's
right.
not just, you're not just
Yep,
addressing one thing, you're addressing all of those core areas and you're able to see improvement in them
yep.
all if we do it right.
Go ahead.
So I have one more question for you. What do you want people to know? You know what it's like living with PMDD, right? What do you want people to know who are feeling really stuck, who are feeling hopeless, who are feeling like they don't have any options to feel better? What would you say to them?
I would say there is hope. I mean, I still have hard days, but they're nothing like they were. I
Mm,
feel like I might start to fall, but I could pick myself up,
mhm.
which I couldn't do that
Yeah,
before. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, that's what it's all
And
about.
I think that, again, like, there is not one treatment, okay? Like, there's not, I think people, I mean, I know I did. I wanted a solution. I wanted something to fix me and make it go all the way. But even though I still have these struggles every month, um, it's not, I mean, it's not like it was. It's not debilitating. It's more of, what can I do today to make tomorrow better?
Mm,
And this is in no way saying this is my fault, right? I mean, we know that we were born with this, and this is something that, is a bit of a challenge. And for me, it was, I mean, I'll be honest with you too, that I have had the suicidal thoughts, and I have not had them recently. And I mean, it was all during PMDD time,
mhm,
and premenstrual time, luteal phase, if I want to be actual. But no, I haven't had it in the last months. And that's really awesome. I mean,
mm,
again, I I didn't have this until after, like, the withdrawal just it knocked me through a loop. So
mm,
that changed my chemistry quite a bit, and trying to kind of catch my breath after that. It was really, really hard. So I think that made everything a lot harder for me for quite some time. And I think it exacerbated the PMDD.
mm,
Like, let's say if I was at, like, a 5, it would make it a 10 for sure. So
mm,
thoughts that I never had before, I had during withdrawal. But um I I would say hope and empowerment. I think those are good. The two words I would choose to
Mm.
describe.
Yeah, being able to have those tools to reach for when you need them can really change the trajectory of what
Yep.
happens next. You can really um, self-regulate. You can, kind of downshift from destroying your relationships and other
Well,
aspects of your life.
that's a big that's huge. And I think that, we're really not taught about how to handle our stress. And that there's so many different options. So, it's like, yeah, okay, exercise, that's one option. Okay.
Mm,
But there's, like for me, like be complex, and we've
mm,
talked about adaptogens, and we've talked about deep breathing. And, I was resistant to that. I was like, oh, I don't want to do this. And
mm,
um, I mean, I'm just being honest. I guess I had that inner child that was just like, I am so tired. I just
mhm.
want things to be easy. I'm tired of all this.
But you
But
did
yeah, I
it.
think the hard, yeah, I know. No, I did it. And of course, I haven't even told you how much resistance I did have. And it wasn't against you. It was just like against, it was like, okay, I can't just go pop a Xanax or something. I really have to do some work here.
Mm, mhm.
And, but it's not that hard really. It's just changing our thoughts from, hey, I need a pill or a quick fix or whatever, to actually being like, okay, my body needs to calm down.
Mm,
I'm in control of this. And what can I
mhm.
do?
Well, and it's really easy to go to I need a pill when you don't have any other coping mechanisms. Like if you don't
That's
feel like you have
exactly
any more
right.
options, right?
And really, I mean, I feel like, not to blame society for everything. Sorry, sociology minor. I I do think I think that it's hard because our feeling all these feelings that are hard, and having stress, and we're not taught as a society how to deal with it. And so for me, that's why also too, I was just like, in a way, and I'm being completely honest, like that numbness from the Lexapro sometimes was easy. It was nicer and easier at times, but it wasn't healthy for me.
Mm,
And um it's not something that as a society, I talk about it a lot on my Instagram page. It's like, feel all your feelings and honor all your feelings, not just, nobody's happy all the time. And I think that
mhm.
that's part of the thing that's hard too,
Yeah,
is
absolutely. Yeah, we have
nobody's
to
happy all the time. It's not normal.
no, no, and having human emotion isn't a pathology, right?
Right.
Like it's
Thank
not
you. That's
about
beautiful.
disappearing that. And so much of the work that we do together is these symptoms are telling you a message. So let's interpret that message and respond, right? And
Right.
we don't really have a narrative that is aligned with that type of approach in society, like
Right.
we
Right.
don't
Yeah. I
understand
like
that
how
the
you
body
say,
does
like, it's
that.
a sign, it's a message. And instead of going, oh no, something's wrong. Oh no, I'm afraid. Oh no, this is bad. And I think that's another thing too. It was like, this is a whole other issue about like just stopping the period altogether. That's kind of like the solution in Western medicine, just stop your period. And but the thing about, like, with our menstrual health, and what I've learned from you as well too, that's a great indicator of our health and maybe what needs to change. So, certain things, like having extreme cramps, and having problems for 7 days versus 3 days,
Mm,
or
mm,
all these different, I feel like instead of going, oh, this is bad, we have to stop this, we can go, what does this say? What is
yes,
this saying? And what can I do to make it better? And
exactly.
that's when I think having somebody who knows the answers is a little bit more reassuring.
Yeah, you really
I,
don't
I
want to shut that line of communication down because if your body can't communicate to you that something's wrong, you can't do anything about it and it just gets worse and worse and worse, right? Like the body does not respond well to being ignored. It's just and the
and
menstrual
yet
cycle is the fifth
I
vital sign.
it's I was walking through my life for so long on Lexapro, just completely disconnected from myself and my body. And I don't recommend it. I think that being connected with yourself and your body and listening and paying attention. And I think that that's been also a really, really big part of my healing, you know,
So
is
empowering.
it's huge. And I wish I could gift that to everybody. Just it's been really it's like almost like a rebirth in a way, you know. It's been big. So
It really has.
I
Yes,
definitely
I'm
want to share.
so excited to hear some of your songs when they're ready.
Oh my goodness, it's I'm a little rusty, definitely, and I still have some nerve issues, but I'm getting there. I'm determined.
The
See, that's another
process.
word, determined.
You are
Yeah.
determined. And it's been so inspiring to watch your journey and to be a part of it. So I thank you so much for, trusting
Thank
me
you.
and working with me so vulnerably. It was really an honor and a joy. And, we continue to work together here and there. So it's not like
Yeah,
it's
no,
not
that's
goodbye, Andrea.
no way. No, no, no. This is not the last of me. I definitely always love your posts and your information, and I feel like I just keep learning. So thank you for that. And I think
Well,
it's really great what you do.
well,
God
I'm
bless.
really excited to share your story with everyone. I know that this is going to be a big one for people, and I'm curious to see, what their reaction, because I know there are other people out there who have lived a similar story. So thank
Oh
you
yeah.
so much
Well,
for sharing.
I'm happy to be able to do it. I hope it helps someone, and I hope people will start taking their health into their own hands more, for sure.
Hmm. Thank you, Andrea.
Bye. Have a good one.